What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make an automatic carrot and potato farm optimized for Bedrock Edition. This will work on Java Edition and is actually usually easier on Java Edition, but I'm going to show you how to make this farm work in Bedrock Edition. It is a really popular farm. You'll find it all over YouTube, so I'm not exactly sure who made it to give credit to, but most of the farms show only how to do it on Java Edition, and so I'm going to show you how to make this popular farm work on Bedrock Edition. So these are the materials that you're going to need for this farm. You'll actually need less than a stack of building blocks and glass. However, this farm is tileable, so if you're doing more than one tile, then obviously you're going to need more than what is listed here. So I'm using a block of iron just because it's easy to see the edges. However, you can use whatever building block you'd like, and you don't actually have to use glass. However, I would suggest using it because it makes things look better, and you can actually look inside of the farm. You'll need a hopper, 2 hopper mine carts, 2 trapdoors, a hoe, a water bucket, a double chest, some rails, carrots or potatoes, whichever one you're using. I'll show you how to do it. I'll probably do it stackable, so I can show you how to stack it, and you'll need both of those. So I'll do one with each of them. And then you're also going to need a composter and torches, which I actually forgot to put inside of my inventory. And what did I just use? Oh well, we'll find it when I need it. So composter and torches, not a redstone torch, normal torches. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is you want to find an open area, and you're gonna build 1 block down and put a bucket of water source in there. Then you're gonna go 4 blocks out in every single direction. That was 5, so don't do that, but it'll become unhydrated anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then you're going to fill in these squares and make all of this into farmland. And so you guys know how that happens, so I'm just going to speed through this really quick because you don't need to see that. Alright, after you do that, now you're going to want to place your composter. And so to do that, you want to have it right over the water source. So you can put a building block there and then put the composter right there. But that's going to make this so it's not farmland again. So you're going to have to turn that right back into farmland. And then we want to put a block on top of that. And then put a torch all the way around. And then now is the time where you can plant all of your potatoes or carrots. I'll start with carrots first because they're better to use, I think, because they don't have a poison variety like potatoes do. However, potatoes work just fine. In my Let's Play world, Flamingo Craft, I actually have built this farm. And so that episode, I think, is actually going to air the day after this episode. So check that out if you're interested. But I started with potatoes in that farm. I use carrots now too, but potatoes were the first ones I used, and it works great. And so this farm is actually powered by villagers, not redstone, and so you will need to get 2 villagers and bring them in here, but we will worry about that a little bit later. Right now, you're going to choose one side. Well, we'll surround this in your building block first. And so I'm going to speed through that again because you don't need to see this in depth. All of you, I assume, can surround land with a building block. You're smart people. Alright, after you've surrounded that, you're going to choose one side and break a block there. And then you're going to break this block right here, and this is where your hopper is going to go. So you can just place that down like that. And then place a building block here, here, and here. And then you could do this part later, but I'm just going to add the chest now because it's easier. You're going to want to build under. I would build a little staircase if I were you. And then you're going to build over. And we're actually going to have to go 1 block down so we don't interrupt things here. And we should see the hopper in front of us right here. And so then what you're going to want to do is you might want an extra hopper so you can make this go down farther. However, you could just put a slab here, but I'm going to put my double chest right here. Actually, I'll put it one lower, and we'll just add another hopper so I can show you how that works. But we'll just put it right here, shift click, put it into there, and that'll work perfect. So if you want to do that way, you can grab an extra hopper, and you'll actually need to start with one. I'm sorry I didn't put that on supplies list, but it's not necessary to do it exactly like that. Then you're going to surround this top layer with some glass or another building block of your choice, but I like glass because once again it lets me see into it. And so I'll probably speed through this again, but actually I won't because I'm going to talk to you guys about villagers. So you'll need to get 2 villagers in here. Well, the first one you're going to want to get into this main chamber because you need him to be the farmer villager. And so he's going to go around and harvest the crops. Then you'll have another villager in here who is going to be eternally hungry. And the farmer villager is going to throw crops to him, but they'll get picked up by a mechanism that we're about to build. First off, though, I would suggest lighting up this whole area. We don't want any mobs spawning in here. And in case you cover it up with when you tile it, crops need light to grow. And so it wouldn't work if it was in the dark. And so now we are going to create the capture mechanism. And this is the part that is a lot easier to do on Java Edition, which is why a lot of people in Bedrock think that they can't actually do it. And I realized what I lost now. I had accidentally gotten rid of my trapdoors. And so I'll get those again. We'll just get rid of the chest because we don't need that anymore. So in Java Edition, you could place the hopper with the minecart right here, and then you could just place the trapdoor on top of it. But you can't do that in Bedrock Edition. So we have to place this first, and then what you're going to want to do is grab your rails. You can probably just put one right here. I'll fly up, but you could just place it down. Place your minecart with hopper right there, and then just slide it into place right there. And then what you want to do is close that right there because we want the next minecart with hopper to sit on top of this block. So we're going to jump up, put a block of iron right here, and then we're going to place another trapdoor. This is another thing that you can't do in Bedrock after you place the minecart with the hopper. You have to do this first or it will not work. Because villagers are 2 blocks tall, if this wasn't here, he could just walk through and it would mess up the whole system. So we need to have this right here, and then we're just going to do the same exact thing that we did a couple seconds ago. You're going to grab your rail, you're going to place the other minecart with a hopper right there, and then we're just going to slide it into place. It'll look a little funky, but it works perfectly, I promise you. And then now that we have that, our collection mechanism is actually completely built. And so now what we need to do is I'll get some villager spawn eggs. I would suggest building this near a villager breeder or an actual village in itself. And you can use boats. I prefer to use rails because I think they work a lot better and it's a lot simpler. But you can do this with a boat as well. You choose your own method of traveling villagers in here. I'm in creative. I'm just going to use spawn eggs. But if you'd like to know, if you need help getting villagers in here, just ask me a question down in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you and help you out. You try to respond to every comment that I can. Well, I try to respond to every comment. So then what you want to do is bring the villager in here first. He's going to become a farmer, and he'll start collecting all of this once it grows. Obviously, it hasn't grown yet. And then we're going to put a villager right in there. And it actually works out nicely that he's a nitwit because he doesn't have to be, so don't worry about that. But we're going to be tiling this, and so he won't try and steal the other villagers' workstation. So this is actually complete. However, I would suggest putting a roof on it. But if you're not tiling it, at least put a roof on it. Glass would probably work best, you can see, and just so they don't get struck by lightning. However, I am going to show you how to tile it now in case you want to have a multi-layered farm so you get more production out of it, or if you want to have a potato farm and a carrot farm. So to do that, the only extra thing that you're going to need, you'll need double of whatever you use to build this, but then you're also going to need some dirt. And so I'm going to fill in right here. You're going to put a block right here, and then you're just going to cover everywhere where there was dirt on the bottom. You're going to put dirt here. So just cover the entire roof with dirt. You don't have to do the glass part. You can if you want to, but I personally wouldn't, but it's up to you. It's your world. You can do it however you want. It won't affect the way this farm works at all in any way, so it's totally fine. You're going to cover every block except for that building block that we have in the middle. And so for me, that's the iron block, but it could be whatever you use. And then I just realized I'm not doing daylight cycles, so these plants aren't actually going to grow. But I promise you that it does work. In my Flamingo Craft world, when I was building this, I did potatoes on the bottom, and then I added carrots on top. But just in the process of me building it, I built the carrot top right after I did the potatoes. I got over 2 stacks, about 2.5 stacks of potatoes, and then a little over half stack of carrots just while building it. So it works really efficiently. It's pretty fast. So what you're going to want to do there is you just put a water bucket there, and we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on the bottom layer. We're going to grab a composter, put it right there, break that block, put a building block on top. Oh, sorry, I'm flying. I have to shift and then place it on top. Then we're going to turn all of this into farmland. I'll skip through this really quick because you guys don't need to see. Then after this, you can either build the walls next, but I would probably want to plant your crops first. I'm going to do potatoes here since we did carrots on the bottom. But if you don't care about potatoes, you can just use carrots again. I like to get one of all crop variety. You could also use wheat for this, but if you're looking for actual wheat, you won't get wheat out of it because villagers, they turn wheat into bread. They're little bread making machines. It's a little weird, but they do. And so you could get bread out of this, which, I mean, it's a good food source, but there's better ones out there. But if you really want bread, then you can just do this with wheat. But I like to do this with potatoes and carrots because you can trade them with villagers. And it's just good to have a lot of sources of food, I think. And you can breed all the animals with them. But once you fill in that, we're going to build up another glass wall here. I'll break that one because we don't need that. But we're going to do... Oh, actually, not a glass wall. Excuse me. We're going to use our building block again. You could use glass, I guess, but I'm going to use the building block just for symmetry so it matches the one below. I would do that if I were you, but you don't have to if you want. Once again, it's your world. You make it look however you want it to. But you're just going to go around here and fill it in, and you don't really need to see this once again, so I'll bring you back when I'm done with that. I didn't say this, but I definitely should have. You're going to want to make sure that you have this area here for your villager to stand. You're going to want a little roof here. I'm actually going to do this out of glass because I think that'll look a little bit nicer. But you got to make sure that you have the roof there for the villager. So you can place the other villager here. And you don't really want, just in case, there's nothing that can get in there to hurt him. You need him to be protected from lightning as well. Then you're going to build this up. Oh, we don't actually need that block right there. You don't need to have that, but you can if you want. I should have forgotten. I built it right there just to keep that there. But then we need to build around here, just like we did on the bottom, to keep the villager enclosed. I keep clicking down there. It's very obnoxious. Okay, we've got that there. That's where we're going to put our next villager. But we'll once again want to place the farmer first up here, and then we'll put the guy in the containment chamber. Now, you should cover all of this with your second block, which theoretically you could do the same building block, but once again I would do glass. But that is totally up to you. It's your world. You do whatever you want. We'll zoom through this really quickly because I've already shown you how to do this, and once again, sure you all know how. But after we do this, we're going to want to light up everything once again, and then we will go into building our collection system right here, which is going to be exactly the same as the one we did below. So you want to do the exact same thing. It's not very difficult, so if you understood how to do it the first time, you'll be able to do it just fine up here as well. So you're going to want to grab a hopper. You need to shift and then place it. That took me way too long. I'm sorry about that. Just having some struggles there, but it's totally fine. And then you're going to want to put a trapdoor here once again. And I just got rid of my rails, which is a little bit obnoxious, but that's okay. I mean, I already showed you guys how to do all of this. I'm sure you got it under control, but you're going to put a rail there, put a minecart with hopper, slide it into place, break the rail, open that, and then, sorry, the glass was scaring me there. I thought there was nothing there. You're going to place a block there. You're going to place your trapdoor right here. Then you're going to place a rail, minecart with hopper, push it into place, break that, leave that there, break this block, and now we put our villagers in. So, once again, if I were you, I would use rails, but a boat would work just as fine. Using a boat to get one to the second level would be pretty difficult. You can do it with pistons, but it's a whole lot of work. So for the second level especially, if you're doing tileable, I would suggest using mine carts and rails. However, you could always just put two side by side. You don't have to stack them. Then you'd have to create more of the things under here. Like you'd have to have another chest system. But you could totally do it. It's up to you. Whatever you prefer doing, or whatever you're more comfortable with. We're going to put a villager in here. I don't understand why he's a blacksmith. So I had some weird glitches there with the spawn villager eggs. Had a hard time getting him in here, but it worked out. Once you get your farming villager in here, all set to go, you're going to want to add your collection villager over here. Sometimes when you drop him in, he would just push these out of the way himself. Sometimes you just got to drop down a little bit, push those out of the way because they get a little messed up. Then you're going to want to drop another villager in there. And then I would suggest covering the whole thing up with glass, getting a nice clean roof over here. You can do any building block you want. I would suggest glass. And then if you really wanted to, you could put torches on top of the glass to make sure no mobs spawn up here. It doesn't really matter if they spawn up here because you're not looking for a mob cap. It's not like a mob farm where it matters where mobs are. As long as they can't get inside, we're fine. And they can't as long as you have the roof on here, so you'll be totally fine. But you just do this, and then after that, that's it. So it'll work really well. That's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please throw down a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new so you can get more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.